What are you waiting for?
What is up, guys? Welcome to today's video. In today's video, we will be talking about Superman and Lois, Season 3, Episode 6, entitled Of Sound Mind. Now, with that being said, there will be spoilers in this video. If you have not seen the episode, click off this video and come back after you've seen it. That's all I can say. Now, if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button, turn on the alert so you never miss another video. If you are one of my current subscribers, please share this video around, like it so I can stay in the algorithm. It is all greatly appreciated. Now, let's jump into the things that I, really did not care for first. The Kyle and Chrissy stuff, I'm glad that it's finally out there. I'm glad that Lana knows, but I feel as if that just it's just going to add more to the drama of it all. Like I said in my earlier reviews of the season, I liked that at least Lana was in the main plot with, Superman and John Henry Irons and all of that stuff. I like that she was involved in that, with the whole death of the mayor and everything, and that tying in with Onomatopoeia, tying into the greater storyline of what's really going on in Smallville and Metropolis. I like that. I don't really care for the, Chrissy and sneaking around with Kyle stuff. I don't really like that. I feel as if they're just trying to come up with an excuse to keep these characters on the show. Now, they're great actors, but it's not good material. At least it's not something that I personally care for. I feel like it takes away screen time for more important things. Excuse the train in the background. There's a train going. You know how it is over here. But anyway, the other thing was Sophie. Sophie being kind of meta this week. Yes, she is a forgotten character. We know how that goes with child labor laws, especially over there in Canada. She cannot be on the show all the time, but I will say at least they gave her something to do. I just didn't really care for that either. She's young. The actress isn't really that strong. I get that she wants to be involved, but she's a younger child caught in the middle of a divorce. That can always be messy. I don't know that personally, but I know friends that have gone through that. I know how that can be from watching. So I kind of got where she was going from. I'm glad that she had a moment with John, that John got to talk about how it was with his move. It's not the exact same situation, but it was slightly similar in how they're feeling in being siblings, being like over in the shadow of their older sibling and whatnot. It was also good to see John at the firehouse getting basically hazed, calling him rusty, making him wear the oversized clothes. He eventually fit in, if I could say it like that. He got his real shirt, his nickname Lil Kent or whatever. Got the real shirt. That was cool to see. And him and Sarah was hanging out doing homework. Yeah. The other thing that I didn't really like is no irons at all. No Nat, no John. I don't like that. Stop sidelining two of my favorite characters. We need the steals. We need the steals, especially. I think that in the final action set piece of the episode, John would have came in clutch. John or Nat, or both. They would have came in clutch. So hopefully, as we go forward into this back half of the season, they will stop being sidelined, stop being left out of the season. I really, 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 really hope so. Now, some of the heavier pieces of the episode were the whole thing with the cancer and the support group. We also start this episode out finding out that while it was a 1 week break for us viewers, the show, it's been a 1 month time jump. It's been a 1 month time jump, and Clark, they're still going through the chemo or whatever. Lois is talking with Pia. They have formed a relationship. Yes, her name is Pia. That should have been a huge clue to everybody that she was Onomatopoeia. But we'll jump to that, later. We'll jump to that later. So she's formed a friendship with Pia. Close knit relationship. They talk about the whole Bruno Manheim Hobbs Bay thing. She is sort of defensive on it without giving too much away, but she says she wants to grab lunch with Lois. She's sympathizing with Lois, trying to be a friend in this whole cancer thing, I guess. And Clark, basically this entire episode, Clark is in denial about it. And rightfully so. It was some heavy, heavy, heavy commentary this episode. I think this is the heaviest that this whole cancer storyline ever been, has ever been since it started. So yeah, it was laid on a little thick this week, coming from a person that experienced his mom dealing with that and his mother-in-law at one point in time. Yeah, it was real heavy, guys. It was. I get where they're coming from. It doesn't take away from the show, but for people that have dealt with it, I do see. I do see now where I didn't think they were going to get this heavy, like having the people talk about how they had to let go of their family members and yada yada yada. And from this being a superhero show, I already know Lois is not gonna die. So I hope the cure doesn't come in some magical form. If you get what I'm saying, I hope it does not come like that. I know a ton of my other mutual content creators, that talk about this show and fans of the show. Hit me in the comment section on how you think that this whole cancer thing will be resolved. What do you think? Let me know down below. Now, along with this entire thing, we see Clark get called to the DOD because Deadline, DeStefano, he is dying. It has been a month since they fought. He is dying because he needs the treatment, which is basically XK and Superman's blood. He needs that treatment. So takes him to Bruno, but Bruno trying to play the, like, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know who this is. Even though we clearly know who it is. He says, get him out of here. Take him to a hospital. I want nothing to do with him. They're expendable to him. They're really, really expendable. He doesn't want to get his hands caught in the mud, if I could say it like that. Understandably so. He wants to, keep being the upstanding citizen, the savior of Hobbs Bay of Suicide Slum. He wants to stay that way. But this Stefano was collateral damage. Along with that, we see Jordan wanting to do more. We see that he stopped a mudslide without Clark's blessing, but with Lois's blessing. He comes back in super muddy, but he got the job done. He did a good job. Nobody got hurt. Lives were saved. And Clark's not okay with that. But then he says, okay, you want to test? We're going to go to the fortress. We're going to, I'm really going to test you. I'm going to amp it up. So, yeah, he has beaten all of the hologram villains, like Atomic Skull and Bizarro, Metallo, all those guys. I may have not seen Metallo. I think I'm mixing the name up. Correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. But he's beaten all, like really, really deep cut villains that are in the hologram of the fortress. So Clark amps it up a notch, puts him against Atomic Skull and Bizarro. He does the task. He solves the problem. He has the two enemies take each other out, which is, that's good strategy for the field. I personally think that he is ready. You have to be put out there in order to see if you can handle it. And like Jordan said, Clark didn't have anybody to really teach him when he was out there. Jordan does. He literally has Superman to help him along the way. But this is the kind of trope that you see in superhero shows, whether it's superhero and sidekick or father and son, mother and daughter superheroes. You see this all the time. I get it. I enjoyed it. But Jordan is pissed at his dad. First of all, you hit him with lasers, and it was funny hearing Lois telling Clark to apologize for shooting him with so many lasers or whatever that was. So we get towards the end of the episode with the big action set piece. We hear Lois calling out for Clark. Jordan hears it as well. He tells Jordan to stay there. He goes out, finds out it's not Lois, it's Automatopoeia, mimicking her voice. So she starts just blasting Cuz. Like, it was a roar that came out of that mask. She starts blasting Cuz, holding him back. Then here comes Intergang with kryptonite laser guns. Hold him down even more. And I'm like, Clark, get up, overpower it. I understand, yes, Clark is stronger than the kryptonite, but Automatopoeia, that's another level of power. So they're holding him down. Lois comes home, and Jordan's like, Mom, are you okay? Yada, yada, yada. Finds out that it wasn't really her. She says, go save your father. You're ready for this. So he flies in with his suit that's akin to a earlier prototype suit that Clark wore in the New 52, I believe. I think it was the New 52, but it's exactly like that, just without the crest and the cape. I think it looks good for what it is for a prototype suit. I liked it. It's not really durable, as we see. Jordan flies in, takes out a goon or two, knocks back Automatopoeia, but Automatopoeia blasts him. Then he gets his very, very first dose of getting hit with kryptonite. Now, that's something I always wondered, because since season 1, we haven't really seen Jordan affected with kryptonite. I do not remember seeing Jordan affected with kryptonite. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember seeing that happen. But we see it doesn't really affect him. This is something that they will be further exploring as this season progresses. I think that's really cool, though. I think that's really cool. So Clark and Lois have a heartfelt husband wife moment. He vows to be there for her along every step of the way, whatever she needs. So we aren't going to be getting this stoic, standoffish Clark we got in this episode anymore. But I mean, that was real. That's how people react to news that they don't want to hear. So I get it somewhat. But at the end of it all, we find out that Automatopoeia is Pia, which I called weeks ago. It was too obvious. Automatopoeia is Pia, and this is what Bruno, this is who, excuse me, Bruno is doing all of this crazy stuff for. He's trying to save his wife. So he's not a villain, but he's willing to do what it takes to save the one that he loves. And I cannot wait to see where they take this story. So let me know down below, what did you think about this episode? What would you score it? This was a great episode. You know, as long this was a great episode. I mean, aside from the really, really heavy cancer themes, this was another great episode of Superman and Lois. I don't really have that many complaints. Like I said, I can care less about the Cushing and Chrissy crap. But right now, I want to do something different. Since they did not show the promo last night, I don't know what that was about, but they did not show the promo. But the promo has been posted. I want to watch that here with you guys for the very first time. And let's see what they're doing. Let's see what they're doing, guys. All right, let's jump into this.
You lied to us about how bad this is.
Sometimes it's hard, but your mother can handle it.
What if there was another way?
Isn't risking a few lives for a breakthrough that could save millions worth it? How far would you go to save her?
Looks like the boys find her paperwork. Looks like the boys find her last will and testament stuff, the paperwork she was working on this past episode. So, are they gonna are they gonna go with Bruno's plan? Like, are they gonna suggest that? I hope not. I really hope they don't go that route, because as we see, it may be a temporary fix, but it still does not work. It still does not work. But guys, what did you think about that promo? Let me know what you think down below. Thank you for checking out this video, and I will catch you all next.